Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Let's Play. This is a special episode. We finally finished the International Airport, but unfortunately, I'm behind on posting my episodes, so I haven't actually posted all the episodes of getting to it. I unlock it at episode 31. I think currently we're on episode like 24 or something. But yeah, so what I did is I went through and I compiled all of the episodes in which I worked towards the International Airport, sped it up a bunch, and yeah, this is the end result. So I'm just going to walk you through what I did in case anybody's having problems with Great Works. But this works specifically for the International Airport, but it'll work for any Great Work, essentially. So what I did here is at the very beginning of the episode, I don't remember what episode this was, but the Metal HQ finally upgraded. And to get a Metal HQ to upgrade, you need to have X amount of imports per or exports per day, and it's a dollar amount. So what I did is I plopped 3 or 4, quite a few trade centers out, and I exported all the coal and the raw ore that I had been getting. And so when that was finally done, my main problem actually at first is because I had a hard time getting the goal, and I think it was I don't remember how many it was per day, but it was moderately high, and traffic was the big problem because I just couldn't get the product in and out. But yeah, so what you do is you plop down trade depots and you put in the modules to carry whatever you're exporting, and you set it to export. And then once you get that, I plop down the smelting division, which allows you to make metal and alloy. And the 3 things you need for an international airport are metal, alloy, and crude oil. And so I started producing a lot of alloy and a lot of metal, and sending it off there. Yeah, and so this is me going to my other cities and sending money to start the Great Work, because I haven't technically started the Great Work. I've prepared for it, but you need 1,000,000 simoleons to start the Great Work. So I took out some loans in my big city, and then I took out, I'm about to take out $100,000 loan in Ugly Town, and send it over. I have to do a little bit of waiting because I was dumb with my math. But yeah, Ugly Town is where we did the crude oil stuff, and we'll get to that later in the super sped up version. But I chose to do International Airport because I'm really bad with casino cities, and casino cities you need tourists, and International Airport brings in tourists. So yeah, and some of these episodes, or some of this stuff you're seeing in the background, is me waiting for some stuff to go along. I cut out anything from the episodes that didn't have to do with the International Airport. At one point I was fooling around with casino city, but my casino city doesn't contribute any materials to it, so I cut it out. Yeah, right now I'm looking at the trading HQ, which could be very useful. I chose not to go this route, but you could import everything that you want to send to the Great Work. I would suggest that if you have a lot of income and you can afford it. But I mean, I couldn't. And yeah, see, that's the traffic problem. You guys just saw all those cars were queued up trying to get in. And yeah, so as you can see, 961,000 simoleons is pretty close, and so I hiked up taxes just temporarily to try and get some more money. And then I just did a quick cut right here. And this is where you start the Great Work, and as you can see, it does this pending Great Work thing, and it actually takes a good bit of time to go through. I cut out the waiting, but I'd say maybe 20 to 40 minutes. I've started 5 different Great Works, not in this Let's Play, but throughout my entire experience, and I've completed 2, including this one. And on average, I'd say 20-30 minutes for that, cutting red tape and all that. And what I'm doing here, as I said, this is my OL city, is I'm making sure that everything, all the trade depots are set to use locally. You don't want to export materials, because of course exporting means you're selling them to the global market, and you want to use them within your region. So while it may make sense to say I'm exporting it from this city to the Great Work, that it doesn't work like that. You have to use it locally or import it, because if you're importing it, then you're bringing it to your city and then going to the Great Work, which costs money, or you're using it locally, which means you're manufacturing the things that you're sending to the Great Work. So if you don't want to do the smelting thing, you can get alloy and metal from recycling. I chose to do the smelting because I thought it'd be more interesting for my Let's Play to see how that worked for people. Because, I mean, it's not that hard to set up a recycling center, but it actually was quite a challenge to, with my road setup, to get the amount of money that I needed for revenue per hour. And this is me just screwing around with roads because, of course, everybody knows traffic is a pretty big problem here. And this was after, or no, this was, I think this was right close to when I looked up a very helpful traffic video and realized that I had been doing all my roads stupidly. So yeah, I'm just trying to maximize the amount of oil that I get from this place and trying to get people to upgrade so I get more money, because at the bottom you can see $718 per hour. Not super great, to be honest. But yeah, and then I do some zoning stuff because it's a lot more useful to put shops in the middle of your residential, because people want to go shop. They want to shop to spend their money that they've earned at their job. So if you put shops in the middle of where they work, in the middle of where they live, then they can walk to their shops, as opposing to getting in their cars and going to a commercial district, which is the mistake I made earlier. Because if they're going to a commercial district, then they are gumming up your streets, and you don't want your streets gummed up. Now, as you can see, that's the interface for. I didn't really think this through because it's going really fast. But if you go back there, or you see in the future, what it shows is it shows the 3 resources that you need, which are alloy, crude oil, and metal. And there'll be a power button in the bottom, kind of like it looks exactly like the on-off button on buildings. And basically, if you hit it in the green position, it means you are pledging money to not money, resources to the Great Work. So your city, by default, does not send it. So you have to go to that Great Work tab, whatever you want to call it, and make sure that you're sending it, because then you're going to get nowhere. But yeah, this is me reformatting my city because, God, the traffic problems were terrifying. Anywho, yeah, there is actually, this was very, very frustrating, and I actually had to cut from recording because if I kept recording everything I was doing, it was taking way too long. The cities don't really sync up with how many resources you're sending. So I would go to, this is Budopolis. This is my big city that's kind of a jack of all trades, and now I'm kind of making it more into an exporting city. But I would be sending metal and alloy from this city, and the amount that it said was at the Great Work would not update. So then what I would do is I would go to Smartass, which is my educational city, and I'd look at it and it'd say, oh, you're 10% done. Then I'd go to my casino city and it would say, oh, no, you're 5% done in one and 20% done in the other. And then I'd go to my last city and it's like, you have literally sent nothing to anything. And I think that's maybe just an internal problem with EA's servers. I mean, I don't want to go the easy route and say, yeah, server problem, it must be, because they've had some. But my other explanation, which it doesn't make complete sense, but I mean it's something, is in the bottom left hand corner you of course have your time. If you mouse over your time, it'll say month and year. So just for instance, say it's April year 3 in this current in this city. In another city it might be October year 2, and in another city it might be January year 1, as if you just started it. I'm thinking maybe time has to do with that. This is just speculation, so don't take my word on it, but I mean that's just a guess. Yet when I do complete this Great Work, it did unlock all at the same time. So maybe, I don't know, problems, right? Okay, anywho, yeah, this is me doing more street stuff, and I guess I could kind of talk about the streets. What I found out from this highly useful street video is something that I didn't think about, which is stoplights versus stop signs. If you have a medium or high density avenue intersect with a low density road, a medium density road, or a low density dirt road, you're going to have no stoplight on the main avenue, but you're going to have a stop sign on the street. And what I was doing is I was upgrading completely to all like high density roads. But what that does is it forces it to have a stop light in the middle of the avenue and on the sides of the road. So cars that were trying to go through this very heavy density place, which is the medium or high density avenue, were having to stop for the cars on the side. If you make it medium or lower density streets, then the people on the avenue are going to be able to just soar right on through, and the people on the medium density are going to wait. So that's why I started downgrading some stuff. The reason I went away from streetcar avenues, which I think you'll see in a couple minutes or so, is that any street that intersects with a streetcar avenue will always have a stop light there. Always. So if a dirt road intersects with a avenue, you can have a stoplight, and that's, well, maybe not dirt road. Sorry, don't take my word on that. But I know for a low density road, it will have a stoplight there, which is just silly because then in some cases the traffic on the avenue will be yielding to the traffic on the low density road. So yeah, this is me right now having major money problems. And as one of my users said, I didn't really solve the money problem because I turned off a bunch of services, and I was basically just having my citizens live in poverty and crime. So, but to me, having fixing a money problem means that I'm having a positive income, which at the bottom you can see it's definitely not positive. Or overall having a positive, a net gain per day. And I don't know if you guys have realized this. It took me a bit to realize this, but if you are exporting goods, that is not reflected in your money per hour at the bottom. That is just independent. So I could, in my main city, actually, whenever I publish episode 31 or 30 or whatever it is, I'm actually negative $15,000 an hour or something. But because I'm exporting all of this alloy, because I'm no longer sending it to the airport, I'm actually making $500,000 a day or something like that. Something crazy, like really, really high. And that's why I really like exporting, because it's very low risk. Well, I'm not going to say low risk, but it's you can make up a deficit so that you can provide a lot of services to your people, yet still come in the green, and that's really good. In my opinion, the best one to go is electronics, because processors and TVs you can export for like $200,000 per truckload, and that's just insane. But to be fair, you do have to have a very smooth, as the loading screen tells you, you have to have a smooth chain of supply, because in order to make processors, you need plastic and alloy, if I remember correctly, and then to make computers or TVs, you need plastic and processors. I'm pretty sure. You guys can double check that on your own, but it's something like that. And that's where trade depots come into play and whatnot. But yeah, I'd say my biggest problem that actually related to the international airport was getting that Metals HQ to upgrade. And what I eventually ended up doing was I turned off all exports, and I allowed, I think I had 4 to 6 trade depots stocked out with coal and ore. And what I did is I let all of those fill up to capacity without exporting anything. And I also let the coal factories and the metal factories, or not coal and metal, coal and ore factories, I also let them fill up to the brim. And then I paused the game, I turned all of them on at the same time so that they never ran out. So there was always supply to be given out, and there was always a place for money to be given. And that really, really, really helped. So I would suggest doing that. And if that doesn't work, change your traffic pattern, because that's another big thing for me. But again, if you don't have any traffic in the area, I mean, that's not really a big deal. So yeah, what I'm doing here is I started a space station project, but I decided to cancel it because in my private world, I had already finished a space station, and it was kind of boring and not to say it was. No, sorry, I didn't. I completely just lied. I completed arcology. That's what I completed, and that was kind of boring. In my 100 subscriber special, I started the space station because to get one of the disasters, the alien disaster, you have to send something to a space station, like send materials. And it took a really freaking long time, like a really, really long time. And for the sake of, I could tell my Let's Play was getting, in my opinion, a little stale. I got some, I've got some good feedback from it, but I thought it was getting stale. So I didn't want to have a section where we were essentially, I was making up stuff to wait for the research to finish. I thought that was boring. And at this point, I've gotten past this, but at this point, I didn't want to stop recording in the middle of an episode and then still do things because I wanted to include everybody in everything I was doing. The reason I decided that it was okay if I maybe cut here and there is because a lot of what I do is waiting, and I don't want to. I mean, there's nothing worse as like a commentator to run out of things to commentate on. That's terrible. And B, I don't think you guys just want to watch me doing like spring cleaning essentially on my maps. I mean, if you do, thank you, I guess. So yeah, that's why I'm in some future episodes we'll do some cuts and stuff. And yeah, this is me having power problems. Eventually I got to the point where this city actually, you can't really see it right now because I don't think it's hit it yet. Yeah, it hits 80,000 people right now. Currently in episode 30, and you'll see this at the end. Yeah, we're like halfway through this video, but at the end of this video, it has like 200,000 people in it. I had a fully stocked coal power plant, and it was not enough power. And I think I had 2 water pumps, and I had a fully stocked sewage pump, and that wasn't enough either. So yeah, this city booms, and I don't know what it is. Maybe watching this we can see together, but it it exploded in population. So yeah, now that the international airport is done, I'm not quite sure what to do. I mean, I still can come up with stuff to do. Oh yeah, also this is a little sliver right there of Streetcar Avenue that bothered me for so long. Check all your streaks, guys. But anywho, yeah, now that the airport is finished, I'll probably do a few episodes to show like the like effect that it has on the region. And I'll probably focus on my casino city because, as I said, the reason I put that international airport in there was to improve the amount of tourists that come to the region so that I could do more stuff with casinos because I'm naturally bad at casinos. So I'll do a lot of stuff in my casino city. But after that, I mean, I was thinking of jumping to another, because I'm on a 16 city map. And yeah, you can see the traffic's really bad right there. I'm on a 16 city map. I was thinking of jumping to another like 4 set, because the way that it goes is it's, at least on this map, it's 4 cities, 1 great work, 4 cities, 1 great work, 4 cities, 1 great work, 4 cities, 1 great work. And I was thinking of going to another 4 city like section. I mean, I'm completely open to suggestion from you guys. But I want to know what you guys think, what you want to see. Because I could do casino stuff. I could work on improving this 200,000 person city. I could do some stuff with oil because I never actually improved the oil town. Ugly Town's still kind of a shit town. But what I was going to do if I started a new city in a different area is, I'm pretty sure that because I have all the modules unlocked throughout the region, I'll be able to start off the bat with like a high energy with like a nuclear power plant and sewage treatment and whatnot. And I was thinking of making the first city kind of a utility city, and putting a big water thing, a big sewage thing, a nuclear power plant. Well, nuclear power plant would be tricky because you'd also have to have a school system to get educated workers because you don't want to explode. But basically have it as the whore city that gives all of the other cities its water and power and whatnot. And then see if I could hyper specialize the other cities, because while I said this is kind of a smelting city, it's not like pure smelting. I have some tourism stuff, I have some like commercial stuff, but it's not hyper specialized. And then, or we could do just another normal four city section, because I think the downfall I have in this map is that I started the game playing this Let's Play, so I started off knowing essentially nothing when I was doing the city. I mean, on my road structure, before I redid it, was complete shit. It was terrible. My zoning was awful. It was just not a good way to start. So I could just go back and do a 4 new cities with the knowledge I have now. And of course, I'll probably make a lot of mistakes there too and learn from them. But I mean, it's just an option. So whatever you guys want to see, let me know. But I do want to finish up this. I do want to have 16 cities on this map by the time I finish my Let's Play. One thing I was thinking about doing for if I get to 1,000 subscribers, which I hope I do, but, oh yeah, fucking Lizard, fuck you. He went and he destroyed my stuff. It was not fun. Actually, let's just kind of watch this. Watch the people. Do you hear the people scream? Screaming a song of "fuck you, Lizard, you destroyed my..." Yeah, I know, right? Look how fun that is. Just chomp, chomp. Oh no, buildings on my legs. Chomp, chomp. Fuck you. Fire. Yeah, and then he goes and eats my trash. Thanks, dude. There was almost no trash because there's an incinerator. Ugh. Anywho. Yeah. What was I talking about? I was talking about my plans. Oh yeah, I was talking about if I do get to 1,000 subscribers, what I was thinking of doing, because I mean 1,000 subscribers is a lot more than I ever thought I'd have, and I mean it's a significant number. So this may sound really crazy, but what I was gonna do is start a 16 city map and do a speed run through of 16 cities for Great Works, all in one sitting. Probably, I'd probably have to take a day, maybe 2 sittings, but pretty much in a row. Record it all, and then I don't know if I probably would not render it. I don't know. See, I don't know if I could stand talking to myself for that long, because it'd probably take like 27 hours or something insane. So I might speed it up like this and then do commentary over it. I might, since it's a subscriber special and it's supposed to be special and it's supposed to be about the subscribers, maybe I should commentate the whole thing and maybe just cut some stuff out when it gets boring. But I mean, 1,000 subscribers is a lot of people, and that would be a hefty undertaking as well. If you guys have any other ideas, if you want me to do something for 500 people or 750, I don't know. If you guys have any ideas of special things you want me to do, let me know. I mean, this is what I'm doing for 250, mainly because there's one guy on my channel who I'm one of my really highly viewed videos. I mentioned International Airport in the title, and so I think a lot of people expected to actually see the International Airport. And so on my past like 2 or 3 videos, he has commented, "Where's the International Airport?" I'm like, dude, I don't know if he's being serious or he just is fucking with me, but. Yeah, so here you go, man. Here is the International Airport in all of its glory from start to finish. In a 30-minute commentated video. So yeah, and as you can see, these are the levels right here, and see, it just jumped up and down from 1750 to 995. It's not consistent. So if you're having troubles with that, what I would just do, what I essentially did is I just kept jumping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And as you can see, 340 here, 2950, 285. It's very inconsistent. If maybe take a nap or watch a video or something and just keep it running. What I did is on my first Great Work is I took a nap and I think I went to bed and I left it running. Unfortunately, I didn't have a very good fire service at the time, so maybe all of my city burned down. Maybe not. So, I mean, I wouldn't just leave it unattended because shit can't happen. But, yeah, and I'm not quite sure if... My main question was, if I'm in my city that is sending alloy and metal, will it only send alloy and metal while I'm in that city? And I still don't know. I haven't done enough testing, and I tried to do testing, but the problem is it was so inconsistent that I'm not sure if the inconsistencies were planned or not. But I'm going to guess because we still don't have cheetah speed and leaderboards still aren't up, that the servers still aren't healthy or their coding isn't finished. I don't mean to sound bashing on them, but I mean I just think that's what's the most likely scenario. So yeah, I would just maybe keep it running or do something else in that meantime. Just keep an eye on SimCity, but don't get too frustrated because, yeah, I got pretty frustrated with this. I mean, I tried to make it not seep into my Let's Play, and I don't think I did. But yeah, I did just leave it. I stopped recording for a while, and I just let it run, and it kind of helped. What I would do is, well, no, I already said what I want to do. And yeah, I did have a. Oh yeah, this was I actually tried jumping out and in of the game, and as you could see there, I know I said this a little after, you can actually go check it, but all of my cities had a population of 0 and like an income of like 50,000 or something, which is the starting values. So that speaks to me even more so that maybe it's a server problem because it wasn't even registering the statistics of my city. How could it accurately measure the statistics of the region? And actually, in one point, I don't know if it's in this episode or not. I think it's episode 31, which is not included in here because 31 is when it's already completed. But I log in, and sometimes in the bottom left-hand corner, there will be no time there at all. And usually what happens then is if you'll say you have plopped 24 windmills, which is the max amount of windmills that you can place on a wind farm. If there's no time in the bottom left-hand corner, it'll say that you can still add modules, and you'll plop them. It won't take away the money, but it'll show up for maybe half a second, and then it'll disappear. Stuff like that will happen. Your income won't come in properly, shit like that. So, I mean, usually I just log out and log back in. And yeah, as you can see, as I was saying, this is kind of a jack-of-all-trades city. I just plopped the Willis Tower, which is very touristy. And, I mean, as you can see at the bottom right-hand corner, I have 107,000 people now. So it's definitely gone up, and now, I mean, 109 just in that time I was talking. 114, yeah, see, it really jumping up. And the Willis Tower actually brought in a shit ton of money. It took a bit of time to get going. As you can see in the beginning, it was like 1,000, 2,000 in the negative. But I think right now it's making 30,000 revenue per day or something like that. Something substantial. And then, yeah, see, as you can see, I'm going negative, so I started turning off services. And then I don't know why I jumped over to this. Oh yeah, I jumped over to this city because I wasn't sure. I didn't see the crude oil number going up very much, so I wasn't sure if I had to be in the city to have it contribute. So I just chilled here a bit. I think I did some upgrading, some changing of stuff. This is the reason I call it Ugly Town for people who don't actually watch my Let's Play and are just visiting. First of all, hello. Nice to see you. Secondly, I call it Ugly Town because it was supposed to just be complete industry at first. And I tried, I'm really bad at like art stuff, and so I tried to trace the outlines of the cliffs, and it didn't happen. It was not working, and I was just, I don't give a shit. And so I said that I could have one ugly city per each like foursome. So this is my ugly city, and it's called Ugly Town. This whole region is called Booty Bay. My main region is Buttopolis, because of Booty Bay, and Smartass because of my smart education city. And then oh god, look at all those. Yeah, they all ran out of money. And then my casino city, I still haven't come up with a name with, but it's called Tudor Isle, which in an 8-year-old kind of way is butt themed, because tooting is another word for farting. Yes, it is. So I don't know what I'm going to name that one. But yeah, you don't really get to see that in here because, as I said, it's not contributing resources to the great work. Yeah, I think you may see it at the end because I think it completed whenever I went to Casino Town. And it's basically like it has its land, waterway, island, waterway, land. And now that I think about it, it was a really dumb place to put a casino city because a lot of water is like taking up where land could be, and that could be more place for shops, more places for people. So yes, look right here, it says alloy and metal is full. Did you see that? If you didn't, go back because it was fucking full. And then I go to another city, and I'm like, oh yeah, I only have crude oil left. Yeah, woohoo, woohoo. Go to another city, it's like, yeah, you're halfway there. on everything except for crude oil. You're a quarter of the way there, so fuck you. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, as I said, very frustrating. Right here, I'm rezoning because I needed to burn time in this city and talk about something, so I chose to rezone and make it a little more self-sufficient, because my dollar per hour was shit. And frankly, getting rid of all the industry at the same time was not a good idea. And I realized that literally as soon as I did, I was like, well, why did I do that? Fuck. Because all this oil, none of it's being exported for money. All of it's being used locally for the international airport. That's the name of the thing. Also, another thing that I would highly recommend, which I didn't do in my first city, and this is me being a scrub, is look at where your oil and your coal and your ore is. And just remember that for your streets, because what I did is in the beginning, I put my residential right on top of the coal. So when I plopped the coal power plant, there was a shit ton of pollution. Everybody hated me because the negative influence, it wasn't good. So just keep that in mind. Another thing is that at first circles seemed pretty nice. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of this plot of land, whenever I zoom over there again, you'll see that I don't have a corner. I have a turn, so that there's no intersection, and that's kind of a good idea. But the problem that I was having here is that cars travel using shortest path. So if I wanted them to take the main street, they're always going to take a side street from the extremity of the circle to get over there. They're never going to go to the top and then go down. So I feel like squares are better for that. This is probably an experiment for another Let's Play in the future, maybe episode 35 or something. But yeah, the format for this city was definitely not planned to be this way. It just kind of happened because I was, look at all those police cars at the bottom. I was literally trying everything I could to get that Metals HQ to upgrade, and thankfully it finally did, because that was, ugh. I remember I just had the worst night that night. I was up till like 3 in the morning just trying to get this bullshit to happen, and when it did, I was like, oh, it's okay. So here, finally, okay. It is constructing right now. This is the screen you see. It goes relatively fast. It seems to go slow at first, but then I think I came back later and it was fine. I stayed in this city because this is the one that completed it, and I didn't want to leave and deal with server problems. So what I think I did here, I'm trying to remember. This was only actually a couple days ago, so I should remember. But yeah, I upgraded the. Ew, that was a gross noise. I upgraded the college. I added another university so that it would upgrade all the way and I could get all the benefits. And then I started researching a nuclear power plant thing, and no, I guess I did a cut. Whatever. But yeah, it completed. You cut the ribbon, you get this cute little cinematic. I kept on speeding it up because, yeah. And then you have to pledge workers, power, and optionally tourists. You need 300 workers, you need 100 megawatts of power, and that's throughout the region. So you essentially have to have 100 spare megawatts. What I did, I threw some more power stacks on this power thing. However, I did forget that it uses a ton of water. And when I mean a ton of water, I mean a ton of water. You're about to see, because I think I add all 4 power stacks at the same time, and my water deficit just skyrockets. I think it was like 200 and something. I don't know. But yeah, you need to have 100 megawatts of extra power. Yeah, okay, just watch this right quick. So yeah, I have like 500 megawatts, but I'm 250 kilogallons per hour deficit because of water. Yeah, not good. And then again, server disconnected, or not disconnect, miscommunication. It doesn't immediately recognize that you have that excess power. And then I think as soon as 300 workers went in and 100 megawatts went in, then it started giving me benefits of medium and high wealth tourists, as well as taking freight. And yeah, I wanted to research the detective wing, because the detective is really useful. It finds criminals before they make crimes. It finds them in their homes. And I was having a big crime problem with Bodopolis. So yeah, that's essentially from A to Z. Well, not A to Z, but from beginning to finish, me starting and making the international airport. Yeah, every time you log into a city that you haven't been on since it got created, it does the cut the ribbon thing. I don't know if that's by design or that's a server thing. Um, but yeah, and then you get on the right hand side, it'll like give you checkpoints of things you need to do to get it going. And then this is me switching everything from use locally to export, and that's what made my money fucking skyrocket. You can see the bottom, like how much money I have, and just keep an eye on it, how often it goes up, even though I'm 5,000 in the negative. And I think it only gets worse from there in terms of the negative that I go. But my overall, including exports, I make a lot of money. And then I think I added a big rail export thing, the trade port or whatnot. And then I start pushing it to see how much stuff I can add without going negative, or without actually losing money. And I think that's where I am in my current Let's Play. I'm right there where I'm on the border of losing and making money. And yeah, the exports just skyrocketed, and I could add another HQ and whatnot. Yeah, it was fucking great. Yeah, and then this, so as you can see, that checkpoint, we just added all that money, or not all that power, but there's only 35 workers, so it didn't activate, I guess you'll say, the international space, not space station, international fucking airport. There we go. Yeah, and then I plot Big Ben, so my money plummeted. But as you can see, yeah, and then I was a dumbass, and I was like, oh, I can put a trade port down, but put the thing really far away. No, you have to put your port right next to the train station or the ferry station if you're trying to export via train or by rail or by water. And then yeah, as soon as it activated, I started seeing the benefits of having those tourists come in, both on my big tourist city and on here, because I do have some touristy stuff. And the way that this trade port works is that you have to upgrade the trade HQ to get the extra lots. So it comes with just freight, and you can load it up with freight if you want and use those 12 trucks to get out. But if you upgrade it, then you can get the respective lots for like metals. So I wanted to output metal stuff, so I added the metals commerce or whatever it's called. You can also add that to your metals HQ instead, and it'll unlock it. Yeah, as you can see, $11,000 in debt, and I'm still technically coming out positive each day or each week or however it fucking measures it. But yeah, as you can see, it still needs some more workers, so it's not activated yet. And then I don't think it actually shows this because it hasn't gotten us this far, but you can level it up by adding more stuff to it. At least for arcology, that's what it was. So the longer I had it, the better it became, and it was adding more shoppers and more residents to my area in my private server. So yeah, that'll be what actually. So yeah, so you'd give you a checkpoint for the 300 workers, and so it's showing. I mean, it says 0 right now because it just got started, but you don't on the bottom it said 0 of 0. You don't have to give it tourists, but if you do, it'll give you better rewards. It'll give you more tourists back if you can get more tourists going out. I mean, it's just a give and take kind of thing. So yeah, that's essentially from beginning to end how you get, in this specific instance, the international airport up and running. It's essentially the same thing for any great work, though. So, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope this wasn't too preachy or boring or too hard to follow because it's sped up, dear God knows how much. But yeah, next episode 31, whenever that comes out, is what I'm gonna be recording, or 32 is what I'm gonna be recording soon. So yeah, some of this is actually a sneak peek and footage you guys haven't seen yet. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.